Okay, so some of you might already be familiar with secret onion theory, but for those who are not, I'm referring to the secret true ending of Pikmin 1, which you can get by retrieving all the SS Dolphin parts before day 30. In this ending, as Olimar is flying away from the planet, we can see several Pikmin onions taking off as well. Interestingly, many of these onions are of Pikmin colors not seen in the base game. If we freeze the frame here, we can see some black or brown onions, some pink onions, a couple light blue or cyan onions, one orange, one purple, and one green. At the time, this was thought to be a hint at new Pikmin types to come in future games. And now, over 20 years into the future, this turned out to be partially true. The purple onion likely belongs to the purple Pikmin that would debut in the next game, Pikmin 2. I know what you're thinking though, don't purples not have an onion? And yes, this is absolutely true in the context of Pikmin 2. However, this doesn't mean purple onions don't exist at all in the Pikmin universe. I actually think this scene at the end of Pikmin 1 confirms their existence, and Olimar and Louie simply never found it in Pikmin 2. Plus, the onion from Hey Pikmin has swirls of all Pikmin colors on it, including purple and white, which one could argue also implies the existence of these two onions as well. So going back to Pikmin 1's secret ending, I think it's safe to assume the purple onion here belongs to the purple Pikmin we meet in 2. But this of course raises the question, if this is a hint toward Pikmin types in future games, then where's the white onion, since this was the other new type addition in Pikmin 2? Well, in my opinion, this is the one major flaw in secret onion theory, and is the only thing that keeps me from being fully confident these onions will inspire new colors in Pikmin 4. From the looks of things, there is no white onion present in this ending cutscene, so it seems that the future Pikmin types weren't already planned and hinted at in this ending. Rather, white Pikmin were a new idea created during Pikmin 2's development. I've heard people argue that the cyan onions here are actually the white onion, which I can see to an extent, but I'm not fully sold on that. After all, there's clearly a blue tint on these two. But even though a white onion is arguably not present here, the rest of this theory actually lines up extremely well. The pink onion here we can assume belongs to the winged Pikmin that debuted in Pikmin 3, and we can say a similar thing to these dark colored onions, as the blackish brown certainly matches up with 3's other new species, the rock Pikmin. Okay, now that the theory has been successfully defended somewhat, let's talk about the rest of these colors, and some ideas for Pikmin types they could possibly lead to in the upcoming 4th game. Putting aside pink and purple, and the dark colored onions which we said might belong to the rocks, that leaves us with 3 brand new colors: light blue, orange, and green. If we're getting any new Pikmin types in Pikmin 4, I think there's a high possibility we could see at least one, if not multiple, of these colors become a reality. And because of this, I want to go through some more ideas about what exactly these Pikmin could be. I've already made a previous video where I detail potential new Pikmin types for all of these colors. But now I've pulled 3 more fresh ideas from my sketches that I think would make pretty awesome additions to Pikmin 4. Let's begin with the light blue or cyan onion. My idea for this color is something I'm calling Amoeba Pikmin. These light blue Pikmin would be slightly transparent with a gelatinous body. Amoeba Pikmin in their main form would be the tallest Pikmin species, standing slightly above purples in terms of height. They are scientifically determined to be a relative of the Gulix, that jelly amoeba-like enemy from Pikmin 1's impact site. The first known Amoeba Pikmin were actually sprouted from the decayed corpse of a Gulix that ingested mainly blue Pikmin over the course of its life cycle. We can clearly see the Gulix resemblance with the brain-like nucleus and other organs visible inside its gelatinous body. Since these Pikmin are almost a liquid, it's pretty obvious that they would be water resistant just like regular blue Pikmin. However, what's different about these Cyan Pikmin is that hitting the water makes them automatically change shape into their puddle form. Puddle form is mainly a hindrance, as this body shape makes them unable to fight effectively. This transformation would ensure that blues, since they have no other skill aside from being water resistant, remain useful and aren't completely outclassed. Amoeba Pikmin's amorphous, malleable bodies will provide an advantage in some situations though. It will make them useful in solving certain puzzles. They'll be able to mold their bodies to pass through certain grates, pipes, and even be thrown right through lattice gates. think like Gooigi puzzles in Luigi's Mansion 3. Despite being very weak, Amoeba Pikmin will have some utility in combat, the ability to inflict ooze on enemies. If enough Amoeba Pikmin surround an enemy without being eaten, that enemy will get stuck in ooze and experience a light stun and slower movement speed. This would make amoebas still worthwhile to have on hand during fights, as their usefulness in combat would come more from the effect they can inflict on an enemy rather than overall damage output. Moving on, let's talk about a potential Orange Pikmin species. And for this one, I took the idea kinda literally and put a Pikmin into an orange. This is the Orange or Citrus Pikmin. These of course grew as a result of a crossbreed between Pikmin flowers and the oranges we know can be found on the surface of their planets. Orange Pikmin are actually brown in color, but their orange peel outer shell is the main attraction. They have deep purple eyes and are very similar in size and stature to a rock Pikmin, as both species share this round, wide body type. Orange Pikmin have two key characteristics, the first of which is their citrusy nature. Oranges are a citrus fruit, meaning they are acidic. This would make Orange Pikmin resistant to a brand new hazard, green puddles of acid found in swamps or even areas with man-made waste, such as laboratories or landfills. Only Orange Pikmin would be able to traverse these acid-heavy areas, making this species useful for exploring certain locations and even for retrieving dangerous pieces of hardware like old electronics or batteries that may be leaking acid and harmful to other Pikmin types. Not only are these Pikmin resistant to acid, but being derived from a citrus fruit, they also secrete their own. This provides an interesting effect for Orange Pikmin in combat. Once an Orange Pikmin touches an enemy, the citric acid will apply a small amount of damage over time, assuming that enemy is not one resistant to acid. This would work like a bleed effect, and although a small amount of damage, it could lead to a large amount over time if the effect is applied consistently. This would be really useful for chipping away at bosses with massive health and dealing damage to enemies who are only vulnerable during a small window. The other big use case for Orange Pikmin, aside from their acidity, is using their round bodies to roll long distances. On their sides, Orange Pikmin can roll just like a ball would, and pick up some very high speeds if there's enough room in front of them. This could be used in a variety of scenarios. For example, if 3's Pikmin charge move returns, oranges would charge forward on their sides, allowing them to roll much further than any other Pikmin species. This would allow the captain to roll a group of oranges like a long-range skill shot that can be used to aim at faraway enemies or even aimed at certain ramps that would allow Orange Pikmin to catch some air and reach faraway areas or platforms that would otherwise be inaccessible. I could imagine areas that have natural ramps which Orange Pikmin could be shot over to cross a chasm or pond and onto a faraway cliff holding a ship part, retrievable item, or something else of that nature. And finally, to end off the video, the last color we need to cover for the secret onion theory is green. I have one more new type idea that could work well with the green coloration. Green, or what I would call flytrap Pikmin. As the name suggests, this would be a cross between a Pikmin and the carnivorous plant, the Venus flytrap. In the Pikmin world, I could see this species being relative to the creeping chrysanthemum from Pikmin 2. These Pikmin are a bright green color all around and look extremely normal until you get to the top of their heads where the Pikmin leaf would typically be. Instead of a traditional leaf, bud, or flower, flytrap Pikmin will always have this spiky green flower just like a Venus flytrap. This is the most serious weapon ever seen on a Pikmin, and it would be put to great use offensively, as these Pikmin really would only have one major usage. They have sharp claws that make them great diggers, allowing them to submerge in the soil almost instantly. This is how they feed and find their prey. With only the flower exposed, they wait for unsuspecting creatures underground, and once they wander up to them, they bite with the flower, causing huge damage to anything that touches it. On a captain's team, Green Pikmin could pretty much be used as landmines. You'll want to prepare for a battle, planting some flytrap Pikmin around the area. When these Pikmin are idle, they dig themselves into the ground and will be triggered when an enemy touches the flower. So during the fight, the captain's job might be to use the other Pikmin to lure an enemy into this Green Pikmin's bud. causing major damage when it bites. Now I know what you're thinking, this sounds way too strong, as we could plant 20 of these guys in one spot and nuke anything that passes it. But I think there are ways around this. Perhaps this species would require a lot of nutrients from the soil to get the energy to bite. So only, let's say, 3 of them can be planted at a time in any given area. This would prevent us from being able to plant mega bombs to lead any boss into to end the fight instantly. Also, they could be nerfed due to their environment. For example, if you're in an area with a lot of water, or the ground is solid rock, metal, or something other than soil, then these Pikmin would be unable to burrow. This would make the captain unable to plant these Pikmin as traps in certain locations. So if constraints like this were implemented, I could see the mechanic being somewhat balanced, working well, and being a lot of fun. What do you think? Are these good Pikmin ideas, or have you seen better? Leave me in the comments what color Pikmin you think we'll see from Secret Onion Theory. I'm excited to see what comes next as we wait to hear more about Pikmin 4. And in the meantime, remember to keep it right here with this channel for more quality Nintendo content, and I'll see you next time.